Hey y'all, welcome back to the studio. I'm aramis-hamer, a large-scale acrylic artist who is inspired by black girl magic, hip-hop, and all things astrology. Welcome back. Today we are in the studio. Y'all, the weather is trying to hold me back. It's trying to hold us back, but you know what? The girl from the Shy, and it's good. It's good, boo-boo. I can drive in this snow, Seattle. So it's been snowy out here, but it's the perfect time to just cuddle up in the studio and get some creations made. So that's what we are doing today. What is on the agenda for this studio visit is to apply the base layers for, who are we applying the base layers for? Why am I struggling? Jeez. For Sagittarius as well as Capricorn. So we're gonna get some colors in there. We already put the gesso down. If you missed that video, make sure you check it out up here. So for now, we're getting the colors in. So let's get started. In the studio on a cold, snowy January. Luckily, the snow didn't stick too much. Starting my ritual of first spraying the canvas with some water. This is gonna help the paint glide nice and smooth over the canvas. Next up, we're gonna get some yellow down. This is gonna be the center point of the canvas. So I really want some light to be projected right in the center, and then it's gonna slowly fade out into this magenta color. I'm super excited for this fiery Sagittarius. So the vibe that I'm going for her is a very fun and whimsical fairy-like goddess. So all of the previous fire signs before had a lot of red in them, but I feel like the Sagittarius is always different, right? They stand out in the crowd. So I want this piece to be a lot different, but yet still have the warmth to signify that she is still the element of fire. Hey, bust it down, Tatiana. Here I'm adding a little bit more yellow to make that transition a bit smoother between the center point and the magenta that's right next to it. As I said before, you all know that I absolutely love using the sponge. This really helps me blend a lot faster and a lot smoother on these really large canvases. Now that we have those stardust-like specks down on this, what is this one? I think this is her third layer now. Now that we have those in, we're gonna let this dry. I typically let my pieces dry overnight and then come back to them, and let's check it out what it looks like the next day. It's looking pretty good. I'm gonna get it stapled up on the wall. The reason why I do this, it helps me store my paintings a lot better. Since they aren't stretched on the canvas, I'm able to roll them up really easy. So let me show you this in action. We're going on a field trip. We're headed to pick up some artwork that I have that's on display at Cornish Playhouse at Seattle Center. So I'm going to show y'all how I uninstall my canvases and roll them up and make them easy for transport. So this is going to be fun. This is like our first time outside of the studio together. So let's head that way. My Leo and Taurus paintings were up on display for this show. So what I'm doing here is just taking the canvas off the frame by pulling the staples up out of the stretcher bar. So I just, you know, I just do it with these biceps. And then we're going to move on to Taurus and do the same thing for her. Once the canvas is removed from the stretcher bars, I go through with a set of pliers and take the staples out so that they don't scratch the painting, because ain't nobody got time for that. Now I can roll them up and make it nice and easy so that I can load it in my car, and then when I'm able to take this back to the studio, it doesn't take up nearly as much space as my stretch canvases. Voila! And now we are back in the studio. So what I'm doing now is just taking the canvas off the wall. It was stapled up there before, if you've seen my gesso video when I was applying this prime base layer. I'm getting this canvas down on the floor so that I can pour the paint to begin the background layers. Color! Yes, now it is time to apply the paint. This is the color palette that I'm going to be using. We're going to have some nice aqua vibes. We're starting with this teal, and this is an old bottle that I had before. And what I do is just add a little bit of the actual pigment to the bottle, and then I add a lot of water to it and shake it up so that makes it really dilute and kind of just makes it behave like a high flow. And then I pour it down onto the canvas. Next up is the Cobalt Turquoise. Here I'm using turquoise, also called phthalo. Now this is Golden's high flow, and these must be shaken before you use them. You don't have to add any water to them. They already have a very water viscosity. So I really like this one to use for the bottom layer to really give me that ombre effect. I'm gonna add some more water so that we can get all three of these different pigments blended. And then I want you all just to sit back and enjoy the process. looks like we had another successful day in the studio. Thank you so much for watching, and if you like it, make sure you like it, and I'll see you all next week. Wait, will I? Actually, I think I said my upload schedule was every 2 weeks, so yeah. If you like it, make sure you like it, and I'll see you next time.